See what it sounds like. And hear Ryan and Lee, so you'll really hear them properly now. You should do. So the podcast. So let me know what you think. Thank you, Taylor, for jumping in. Taylor's a regular on my live show on the TikTok. So thank you.
We're
Thank you,
live, we're
Taylor.
live.
How you doing?
We're in. Let's go. Inspiration Nation. Hello. Lee Kemp here for, I would say, another week on the podcast, but I've been fairly absent recently. Lee Kemp here returning to the podcast with my very good friends, Ryan Boniface, Jose Noya. How are you doing, guys?
Not too bad, thank you.
Yeah, really good. Thanks. Really appreciate it. Yeah, lovely. Thanks for asking. How are you, Lee?
I'm good. Thank you for asking. We go with our first recording of 2025. This is good. Looking forward to this. Jose is live on TikTok. We're live on YouTube as well. Just put Jose Noya-Inspiration Nation into your Google machine. Follow him on those platforms. If you subscribe or whatever the buttons are you press to get notifications, you'll get told when we go live. You can interact with the show. So this week, I mean, I've been on a run of providing a load of great topics. I'm sure it's not my topic this week. I've missed, I think, 4 of the last 6, I would say.
Are you going to take credit for this topic? Just asking.
Of course. This is my topic. And as it's the start of the year, we don't do resolutions, as we know, because you can start goals at any point. But we are going to do our reflections. So how are we feeling our 2024 was, and what are we looking forward to? Rather than when we can have resolutions, we can have new things we want to start, but like I said, you don't have to pin them to the year. But what are we looking forward to into the next year? Jose,
love that. I just want to give some.
Give some shout outs, and then you can give us your 2024 thoughts as well.
Thanks, Taylor, for joining. Thank you, official Fredov, Aya, and I want to give some shout outs, some regulars on the live show for TikTok. There is Frizzle, Taylor's on there right now. Thanks for joining, really appreciate it. We've got Ethan, we've got Michael from Florida, who's a pilot, who joins us a lot. So some really cool people. And also Clark, he said a happy new year. That, you know, Clarky, I think you've jumped in here before. So thank you to all of you for supporting. Really appreciate it. I really appreciate all the support. So let's keep this going.
Florida's quite appears quite a lot on our download locations, you know. So if that was it Michael, did you say? We appreciate you listening very, very much.
Fantastic stuff. Brilliant. Okay. Yes. Carry on. What are you doing, Lee? What's going on here? What are you doing?
I'm looking at you to do your 2024 thoughts. If you'd listen to anything that I say.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Did you ask? I missed that
twice.
Wow.
Twice. It doesn't. Look at him. Just
listening skills.
What Jose's going to do for 2025 is not listen to a word Lee says.
Of course I am. Right. Okay. Let me say. So you want to know my thoughts of 2024, as in reflections, as in my
how it went
just
for
generally.
You. Is it better? Are you better now? Are you worse now? Did you achieve what you thought you might achieve? How was it for you?
Well, I think 2024 started a bit slow. I think, but what's really happened? You started a bit slow, and I kept doing the videos, all that sort of stuff, and I've revamped up, and things have changed in my employment. Now I'm doing leadership. Oh, thank you, Ava. Appreciate who's liking this by live. Oh, it's just is liking this. Thank you so much. So 2024 was a bit slow, started, then it sort of ramped up in the middle, and then right at the end, it's just sort of, it's so accelerating because these lovely people on TikTok, I've just started going live on TikTok nearly every day, and all of a sudden, it's this nice bit of traction we're getting. So for me, 2024 has been slower growth, but good growth. So thank you everyone on TikTok for following and everything like that. I really appreciate it. I've been doing it in the morning when I go for my morning walk. So if you're asking me how it's gone, it's really promising actually. And TikTok growth is growing, which is always good. And I take these people, take my community on a walk with me. So I always tell them about the podcast, go to there. So, you know, bit of a long thing, but slow and steady growth, I think, is for me. That's what I've got. Is that what you wanted, Lee?
It's good. Well, it's whatever. There is no wrong answer. It's whatever you feel like. And what about personally, outside of the podcast, how has the year been for you?
Oh, tennis, man. That's been great.
Yeah.
Tennis has been awesome. Like, really enjoying that. Yeah, it's been a good year. You know, family's well, which has been good. You know, that's been a good thing. Personally, I'm just trying to explore certain things. I like different types of, personal development, doing more meditation, doing journaling, just trying to enjoy the moment more. I just think as I said, I've said to a lot of people before, is that I don't believe in a New Year's resolution. It should just be like you said earlier, Lee. Like you just
Continuous
don't do it.
growth.
I always say
Continuous
this on
growth.
my, yeah, I say this on my lives. Well, why not just start now? Like I know, but you do get a certain energy at the beginning of the year, but that thing of that's like, slow and steady, wins the race. I really love that sort of quote where you just continually just make the tweaks every day. But overall, I'm really happy with this year. And oh, Frizzle's joined. I just want to say hi to Frizzle because Frizzle's an original like Clarky, but Frizzle's been really liking these lives. It's been fantastic. Welcome, Frizzle. Feel free to ask a question because you're on the podcast live right now. Um, so for me, it's yeah, family's well, things go in the right direction. I just feel that this year is going to be a very good year, even more. I think we're getting steady growth, and I think for me, it's going to be even more growth for me, just to build on the things and the foundation I've built this year, personally, and all the stuff that I'm doing. Yeah, powerful stuff. I think is coming in 2025. Yeah, I really am excited about it. Actually, I'm quite excited. So thank you all for joining. There you go. Anyway, yeah, that's me.
Love it. That's good.
Anything out? I don't know if anything come out of that. Does that resonate with you guys? I don't know.
Well,
Does,
this
I
again,
mean,
this is
is it,
personal to you. This is, these have evolved into our own kind of development and growth diaries. So it's really good just to see where you are, where things start. Where a year, in one ways, it goes really quickly, and in other ways, it's a long, long time. Especially if you set yourself goals and you break them down and you move through things. It's amazing how quick they go. I mean, I say at the start of last year, we were in the process of wanting to move house. There was a real, would it happen, won't it happen, what will happen with that? So going into the year, that was the goal. We went through that always joyous process of actually moving house, which we are now on the other side of. And I really, beforehand in the prep of getting ready, and then afterwards, I really utilised that, the backlogging thing I always talk about through this, to really, right, what needs doing, let's make a list, let's divide it into sections, let's work through it bit to bit, really trying to not get myself overwhelmed. And, we did the house move, one of the 3 most stressful things you can do in your life. Once we were in, as you guys know, we talked about in various podcasts, I undertook biggest DIY project I've ever done in my life and built the summer house in the back garden. Loads of other
good, by
stuff
the
like
way.
you get when you move house. So lots of, there's been decorating going on, odd jobs that need doing, all that sort of stuff. And rather than, trying to get overwhelmed, because actually both those things, the home move, the big bit of project in the garden, seem like they were ages ago to me now. And I think it's because they weren't as stressful as they could have been, and they weren't as stressful because I'm really, pushing myself on this backlog listing, get everything written down mentality. So I really strongly want to keep that going into next year with what I'm doing. But actually, there's one bit. So I feel like work at the moment is in a really good place, and it's going really strong and is good, and I'm really fulfilled with what I'm doing, which is a big tick. Family life is all really good. I've got, we talked years ago now, Jose, way before we even started the podcast, and I didn't have a right balance on stuff. So there's a lot of making sure not just family and friends, time at home, keeping in touch with family, having regular relationship with friends and stuff. I feel like there's a good balance on that. As we know, I love a bit of AI, hobby stuff like that. I do a bit of gaming, stuff for me and making sure it's there. The missing ingredient for me right now is exercise or health. So
Okay.
I'm determined, and I say this to everyone at regular intervals whenever it's appropriate. I'm determined that I'm going to live to 120. So I'm a third of the way there right now, or just over a third of the way there right now. Absolutely adamant about this, but it's not going to happen if I don't look after my heart. That's the bit I want to make sure it's
Yeah.
there. I can get out of breath very quickly now because I don't do enough exercise. So the thing, and again, not as a resolution, it's just it's just something we talked about November, December. December's crazy. There was no point starting something, but I'm going to buy something to use and do at home and have as regular, and there wasn't the time to get it in and build it and everything because there's enough building with presents and everything else over Christmas. So some point during January, February, I'm going to introduce that, and what I want is by the time we talk about this next year, that isn't, it's not like, oh, I need to work on that. It's got to the point where that's just a regular part of my routine I do. It's just something